Hi everyone, it's Melissa, and today I want to share with you some of the books that I am planning to read this month in September. And this is part of my I've Never Read series, where I have been reading different types of books, authors, genres, etc., that I've never read before. So I started the series reading graphic novels, and that was a wonderful experience. It was so great to read books in just an entirely different format. And then last month I read romance for the first time, which was kind of a mixed bag, but I liked a couple of books that really surprised me, so that was pretty cool. And this month I am going to be reading YA dystopian. So I have read dystopian before, and I have read YA novels before, but I have never read YA dystopian. Now, YA dystopian, I think, sounds more niche than it actually is. I think this is a pretty popular subgenre of YA. And the reason I chose this genre is because dystopian is one of my favorite genres. But when I went back and looked at all the dystopian I've read, it has all been adult dystopian. So like The Handmaid's Tale and 1984 and Fahrenheit 451. And when I was just coming out of university was when the first big wave of YA dystopian was happening. And so I feel like I kind of just missed the wave. I was a little bit too old. I mean, obviously I'm older now and I'm reading YA, but 35-year-old Melissa is less judgmental than like 20 to 25-year-old Melissa was. I was a bit more, shall we say, elitist maybe in my reading, where when, like 10, 15 years ago, when YA dystopian was becoming a big thing, I didn't read any of it because, well, YA wasn't for me. I was in my 20s. That's for like 16-year-olds, right? So I kind of discounted it, and I think that's a real shame. So like 10, 15 years later, we're going to dive into it. And I think this is the perfect time because while like 10, 15 years ago, YA dystopian really became popular, I feel like there's a bit of a resurgence. I'm seeing YA dystopian everywhere, so I'm going to read some new YA dystopian and an old classic, classic from like 2008. So here's what I have planned. I have 4 that I'm probably going to get to, and then 2 kind of bonus ones if I have time. So the first one I really want to read is The Marrow Thieves by Cherie Dimaline. And this sounds maybe more like a dystopian horror. I'm actually not really sure. I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about this, and I haven't seen any reviews for it yet. But this is set in a kind of post-apocalyptic world that has been almost destroyed by climate change, and indigenous people are being hunted for their bone marrow, which sounds kind of weird and creative enough, but apparently they're being hunted for their bone marrow because it carries the key to recovering something the rest of the population has lost, the ability to dream. So that just sounds so bizarre to me that I'm very interested to see where this goes. Maybe it will be more magical realism and less dystopian. It's obviously set in a dystopian type world, but we follow, I think, a couple of main characters who presumably are on the run, hiding from people who want to hunt them for their bone marrow. So that is one that I definitely want to prioritize, as I am also trying to read more Canadian authors and more Indigenous authors. So that's going to be top of the list, I think. Next, we have Legend by Marie Lu. And this is set in kind of a political dystopian, it sounds like, where you have a part of the world called the Republic, which is in perpetual war with other areas of the world called the colonies. And we follow someone who I think is 15 or 16 years old, and they are kind of being groomed by the Republic to be, someone of note. I don't know if it's for a political reason or it says success in the Republic's highest circle. So they're being groomed for success, whatever that means. And it follows that person named June, and then another 15 or 16-year-old called Day. And June's brother is murdered, and Day becomes the prime suspect. June is trying to seek revenge. I'm assuming at some point they meet up and not all will be as it seems. I'm anticipating some political intrigue, and I'm getting a bit of like 1984 vibes, but I'm not sure if that's just like the political aspect of it. But anyway, it wasn't the story so much that got me with this one, but I've heard great things about Marie Lu, not just this book, but some other things she has written, at least one or two other novels, I think, that have been highly regarded in the middle grade YA circuits. So I thought I would pick this up. And the next one I picked up because it just sounds so different from anything I've ever read before. And also I think Roxane Gay had given this like a 4 or 5 stars on Goodread. And like if Roxane Gay says it's good, I'm probably going to read it. So this is The Bells by Dhonielle Clayton. And this is set in a world where everyone is born gray. That's what the blurb says. I'm going to take that at face value and say that that's not a metaphor and that people are actually literally born gray, because the Bells are a group of women, I guess, that hold all of the beauty. And Bells are the only ones who can help normal people who are born gray, and I think they can use their beauty in a way. So there might be a little bit of magic in here. But our main character is a Belle who wants to be one of the Bells who works at like the palace with the queen. And so I think we follow her as she gets into the palace, and I'm assuming things are not quite what they seem from the outside, like palace life. I think she's recruited maybe to help the princess who is ill or something like that. So having to use her beauty in that way. It all sounds very weird, which I am all for. So that's The Bells. And then the last one on my list that I'm prioritizing is, can I call this a classic of YA dystopian? I think by now maybe we can. I use the term classic very loosely here. But The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've never read before. I've watched the movies, so I mean I kind of know the beats. But I am not of the mind that watching a movie first necessarily spoils you for a book. I'm sure that there'll be either enough differences in plot to keep me engaged, or like honestly reading a book is just a different experience than watching a movie. So I don't care that I've seen the movies. Do I have to tell you what this is about? I don't think so. Dystopian world. There's different, like, what are they called? I can't remember. Districts. And all the districts choose different teenagers, youths, to fight to the death in the Hunger Games. So I think this one's going to be like a lot of fun. Like a lot of like unsettling fun. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. But yeah, I've never read the Hunger Games, and I think it's about time. Everyone says it's really good. Even people who don't normally read YA read this and say it's good. So I have high hopes for the Hunger Games. It's got to be famous for a reason, right? Those are the 4 books I'll be prioritizing. Another couple I may or may not get to, depending how my reading goes this month, is Want by Cindy Pon. And this one is set in a world where I think there's a lot of like viruses and pollution, and just people don't live long because there are a lot of environmental factors, basically, that cause you to die young. But the rich elite are able to basically buy extra time. Like, they're able to use their money to buy like special suits essentially that can protect them against the pollution and the illnesses and all those types of things, so the rich live longer. That's the premise. I don't really know much about the story otherwise, but that whole premise sounded pretty interesting to me, so that's one that I may read if I have the time. And the other one was, oh my gosh, it's super famous. Why can't I think of it? Scythe by Neal Shusterman? Yes, I was right. Shusterman. Or is it Shusterman? Anyway, you know what I'm talking about, Scythe, right? This is part of a trilogy, and I've heard really great things about it. If you're not familiar, it's set in a world where natural death no longer occurs. Science has advanced to the point where people do not have to die from old age or illness anymore. But of course, to avoid overpopulation, they have to kill people off. So scythes are the special job, I guess. People called scythes are responsible for killing people at random. So it's kind of one of these like false utopia type of dystopians. And again, it's another one that even people who aren't really into YA seem to have been really enjoying. So that's one that if I don't get to it as part of this little project, I'll probably just pick it up at some point next year anyway. Those are the YA dystopians that I'm interested in reading and hopefully going to get to at least these 4. If there are any other YA dystopians that you think I would like or that you really liked and you would like to recommend, please leave me a comment below and we'll chat soon. Take care. Bye.